Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial on banners. Today we'll be taking a look at the different patterns you can make and the different shapes and how you can combine them to make interesting designs. So let's just jump straight to it. So in front of me right here you see the basic pattern for creating the banner. This is a crafting table and you put a stick with 6 pieces of wool. You get the banner. This can be done with all the valid types of wool, so all the different colors that you have. And as you see here, red and white. And if you come back around to the back side here, I have made a list of all the different kinds of banners, all the different colors, all 16 that you can use from wool. They have a nice solid color to it, but as you can tell, there's a slight gradient to it, but that just adds to the overall look. They have an animation, as you can see, they sway in the wind, and it's almost hypnotic. Moving on. This is a style of banner you can make, which shows a simple shape of just a stripe on the left side. This is done by putting all the valid colors on the left side, and the banner can be in any of these slots and it will still work. In this chest here I have set up all the different shapes: left side, right side, middle, top, bottom, and horizontal middle, and they are displayed back here. These are all the basic shapes you can make on the banners. In this chest, I have set up additional patterns that you can make, and you have the diagonal line in both directions, the cross, the plus, and stripes. As you can see, here are the banners for each and every one of those designs. You have the cross, the diagonals, the plus, and the stripe version. Moving on, you have what is known as halves, where you color only half side of the banner. This is done in this particular pattern, and you can move the banner wherever you please and it will always work. This is for the top left, top right, on the left side, and the top. Now the reason you can't do the bottoms or any on the right side is that if you have a white banner that you want to make half black, you have to choose whether to use a white banner as a base or a black one. So for example, if you use the white one, you have the black at the top and left. So if you wanted to make the opposite colors, you would need a black banner base like this, and you put in the coloring like so, and then you will have the opposite of that one, which is this one with the black on the bottom, white on top, instead of white on bottom and black on top. It's actually quite simple. Now let's take a look at the actual shapes instead of the stripes and the halves, and the shapes that you can put into your banner is the following. I've put all the different designs in here. You can put the banner wherever you please and it will still work. It's just put like this so that it's easy to see how it works. Now, as long as the die position is in the correct place, it will work. So put that there, that'll work. Put it there, that'll work, and that's fine. There's the top left one, bottom left, bottom right, top right, and these are the V shapes. These will also work wherever you put them. And this is the bottom V, well, not the V shape, but the actual triangle shape. So this is the bottom and this is the top design. As you can see here, the top triangle, this is the bottom triangle. Now if you inverse that triangle, as you can see here, this is the triangle design. If you put these down and that up instead, you will get these wave patterns. As you see, that's the top one, the bottom one. As you can see here, Now, there are two more. There is a circle one and a diamond shape. The circle one is simple. You put the die in the middle, whichever die you want, and it'll work. And the diamond shape is top, bottom, left, and right. It looks like that. In addition to the stripes, halves, and shapes, there are borders you can put around it. There's the simple square border you can put around, and then there's one with squiggly lines like so. The one with the solid frame, you put dies all around with the banner in the middle. And the one with the squiggly lines, you use vines. The base color for vines is black. So if you want to dye it, you need to put in an extra dye wherever you please, like so, and it will dye it appropriately. There are also a couple of background designs which I thought we could craft together. You need bricks. That's pretty much it. Now let's craft the different background designs. You put in the bricks anywhere you want, and the banner, let's say there, and you get a nice brick background, like so. As you can see, there's quite a lot of different colors in here, gradients if you wish, like gray. If you want it darker, all you have to do, put the same one in, bricks again, boom. You get a much darker design than this. So whatever you prefer, remember to use your layers appropriately. As with the other ones, you can also dye the brick background design. Let's use gray this time and put the banner there. And as you see, you get a gray brick pattern. This works with all colors just like every other design. And there's one last one I wanted to show here, and that is the gradient. Let's use gray again. You use a Y-shaped pattern like so, and you get a gradient. It will look like this, where it's mostly light on the bottom, dark on top. If you want it darker, you can do this up to 6 more times, depending on how dark you want it to look. So let's do that. And again. And one more time for good measure. And there we go. Then it will look like this, a much darker design with 4 gradients instead of 1. So that's how that works. Now let's look at the different symbols and icons you can make. As you can see, here are 4 designs. Let's look at how you make these. First, there's the creeper head. Now this is new in 1.8, and this is how you would obtain a creeper head. You would get a charged creeper. Now that is a creeper, any creeper, which is struck by lightning. Then you have to lead that creeper over and use it to blow up another creeper. That second creeper would drop a head. So that is currently the way that works and how you would obtain a creeper head. Now, as the other designs, you can color it by adding a dye. Now these are also wither skeleton skulls, which, well, we all know how to get those. You kill wither skeletons a billion times and then they might drop 1. As well, you can dye them any color you like. So this is the creeper head. This is a colored creeper head. Now this is the wither skeleton skull, which looks quite nice actually. It's like a Jolly Roger, or Skull and Bones if you wish. This is the colored one with purple. Now let's look at the 2 last symbols or icons if you wish, and see how you make these. The top one is for the Mojang logo. You will need a golden apple. Not just any golden apple, the enchanted golden apple, otherwise known as the notch apple. As well as every other design, you can add a color to it and it will get that color, like cyan. Now this is what it looks like. There's a lot of gradient to it, so you can have a lot of fun with that design. Last but not least, we have the Oxide Daisy. As well, of course, you add a color to it and it will look like that color. The oxide daisy adds this little sun design, or daisy, whatever you prefer to call it, and it's a quite nice design to put in if you have a banner with a lot of different shapes to it, and you can have a lot of fun making different gradients and symbols. So that's what those look like. Now, one of my concerns when it came to the banners is where can you place them and how can you place them? Let's take a look. I looked at all the different blocks I could think of that it might not be able to place on, but it seems that it can be placed on all types of block. You can put them on packed ice or ice. You can put them on beacons, sponges, and glass. Now this is important because, for instance, you can't put torches on glass, but banners you can put even on the side or on top. Same goes for stairs. You can put it on all sides of the stairs. It doesn't matter where, and even on slabs. As for the slabs, it won't actually connect if it's a bottom half slab, but it still functions. You can also put the banners in all 16 directions, just like a sign. So you can have it angled in every kind of way you want. Like say you want it that way or that way, perhaps. You can put them any way you like, and that's a nice little feature that you can use to your advantage. So then I thought, now how can you place them like on a wall? Let's see. You can have them hanging off over the edge somewhere, which is a really neat feature. You can see them hanging down, whoops, and you can't hit them off like so. So that's quite nice. They will hang straight off a flat wall. It's just the same principle like this. And as you can see, the hitbox for that is the top half of the banner, which brings me to the next one, which means like so. Since it's only the top half of the block, you can put them next to the ground like this, but it means that the bottom half of it will be inside the block beneath it. So as you can see here, the banner is still there in its entirety. It's just inside the block. Likewise, if you put them on the ground, the hitbox is on the bottom half of it, which means that it will be inside the block if it's placed underneath, like so. It will have the top half of it inside a block if it's above it. It's perfectly fine, it's still there. It's just that the hitbox is down here, which means you can place blocks on top of it. Certainly you can use this to your advantage if you only want a small design. Alright, what's left? Let's see. As previously stated, you can only put 6 designs on a flag. So like this, it's already here. Let's put it up anyway. The maximum number of layers you can put on a banner, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the max. That's the amount of layers you can make. So keep that in mind. As you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not a pretty design, it's just something I chose to easily show that that is the maximum number. So if I decided to put on one more layer here, let's put a different circle in there. Nope, not allowed. 6 is the max. Now, as I previously stated, gradients, as you know from what you've seen on all these different designs, they all have a bit of gradient. Let's go over here and look. As you can see around the edges here, you have like a lighter blue. Same here. On every single design, there is some level of gradient to it. So I made 2 different designs here from the Norwegian flag, the most beautiful flag in the world. On the one on the right, I only put in 1 layer of white and 1 layer of blue. And you see how it kind of just blends together instead of sticking out as its own beautiful color. So then I made a second here, which has 2 layers of white and 2 layers of blue. Since you can only put 6 layers on it, You won't get it perfectly, but it looks a lot better. So keep that in mind when you make your banners. Now, I almost forgot to mention over here, due to the hitboxes, if you want to put a banner on top of a banner, keep in mind the hitbox is here, which means that only the bottom half will be sticking out from the one you put on top of it. Whoop. You can apparently go straight through them as well, which is an important thing to know. So you can put them in front of your secret little door and go straight through. As you see, only the bottom half of the banner will count as the hitbox, which means you can't put them perfectly on top of each other, and thus that is also something you need to know and think about if you want to put several together. Going back here, there's one last thing I wanted to show you. I already put them in there, but let's craft them together. Let's use the Oxide Daisy because it's such a good design to show this feature with. It has a lot of different colors to it, gradients, which you can use to your advantage. If you just put let's just make a different color, say this color, that's fine, light blue, and it will look like this, a lot like this, but blue. Now, if you put the black one you created first and then put in a blue Oxide Daisy, it will look like this. Don't you agree that that looks a lot better and cleaner than this does? So layers, my friend, layers, layers, layers. Very important when designing your banners, and 6 maximum, and you can create some masterpieces using this technique. Anyway, I have been the General. Thank you all very much for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. At ease.